Hello students, I am Professor Poonam Gharge from College of Agriculture Baramati. Today I will discuss with you our first topic from elective GPB course, classification of crops. So why there is a necessity of classification? So it is essential for ordinary reference and avoiding confusion in identification. So why we require a classification? In order to avoid a confusion between the different crop species. So we can, or it can help to make easy identification. So for that purpose we have to do a classification. So helps in identification of related crop plants used for various purposes such as food, feed and fiber. So classification helps to identify a plant internationally as there are different common names of the same plant species. So at a in a different country there are different names for a same crop. So classification provide a common or a unique identity for each crop, so we can easily identify that crop across a worldwide. So classification also helps to understand the requirement of soil and water, climatic requirement, growing habit as well as adaptability of different crops. So the classification helps to know what type of soil, what kind of water requirement that crop is required, what kind of climatic condition that crop required, as well as we also able to know the growing habit as well as adaptability of that crop species. So next point is types of crop. So there are various bases to classify these crops. So first one is on the basis of season, then on the basis of climate, on the basis of their life cycle or growing season, on the basis of their economic or agronomical use we can classify the plants, then on the basis of duration of crop, root system, water requirement, photosynthesis, number of cotyledon, duration of photoperiod and so on. These are the basis to classify the plants. So one by one we are going to see all of them. So first one is classification on the basis of season. So on the basis of season, these crops are divided into three types, that is kharif crops, rabi crops, or third one is a zaid or summer crop. So kharif crops means these are the crops which are grown in June, July to September, October. So we are sow them in June, July and we can harvest this crop nearby end of September or in October. So these crops require a warm, wet weather during their major period of growth, as well as these crops require a shorter day length, means they require a short photoperiod less than 12 hours or 8 hours in order to have a flowering. So examples of kharif crops are rice, maize, castor, groundnut, jawar, bajra, jute, sugarcane, turmeric, etc. Then second type on the basis of season is rabi crops. So these crops we are grown during October, November. So their sowing commence in October, November and harvesting generally takes place in the month of January or February. So these crops require a cold, dry weather for their major growth period and longer day length of flowering. So in order to have a flowering they require a long photoperiod, means more than 12 hours day duration they require. Examples are wheat, mustard, barley, oat, potato, then chickpea, berseem, cabbage, cauliflower, etc. Then third one is zaid or summer crops. So these are the crops grown during February, March. So we are going to sow this crop in February and March. Okay. While their harvesting takes place generally in the month of May and June. So these crops require a warm and dry weather for their growth and longer day length for flowering. So examples are green gram, black gram, sesamum, cowpea, watermelon, cucumber, pumpkin, etc. Okay. Then next, on the basis of climate. On the basis of climate, again these crops are divided into three types, that is tropical crops, subtropical crops and temperate crops. So tropical crops means these are the crops which grow well in warm and hot climate. So these crops require a warm and hot climate for their growth period. So the examples are rice, sugarcane, jawar, etc. Then subtropical means these are the crops which grow well in medium. They require a medium warm as well as all the conditions are in a medium. Okay. So climate is also required, not too hot, not too cool, as well as warm, etc. So these crops are called as a subtropical crops. Then the third one is a temperate crop. The crops which grow well in cool climatic condition, they are called temperate crops. So examples are oat, potato, etc. The next one is the classification on the basis of taxonomy or botany. So according to systematic botany, your plants are classified as per the order or family. Okay. So the scientist Carolus Linnaeus, which is a Swedish botanist who responsible for this binomial system of classification. So as per this binomial classification, your crop plants are grouped into families such as Poaceae family. Earlier we called it Gramineae, which include the crops from cereal, millets and grasses. Then second one is a Papilionaceae, or previously it is known as a Leguminaceae. So this family includes crops from pulses group, legume, fodder, vegetable, etc. Then third one is Cruciferae family, which include crop mustard, Indian rapeseed, radish, cabbage, cauliflower, etc. The next one is a Cucurbitaceae, which include all your gourd crops such as pumpkin, bottle gourd, ridge gourd, etc. Then cucumber. Next family is a Malvaceae, which is it is also called as a cotton family. So crops are cotton, lady's finger, rosalie, etc. Then next family is a Solanaceae, which include crops like potato, tomato, tobacco, chili, brinjal, etc. The next one is a Thiliaceae, which include jute. Then Asteraceae family, previously known as a Compositae family, which include safflower, sunflower, Niger, etc. Then Chenopodiaceae, which include spinach and sugar beet. Pedaliaceae, which includes sesamum crop. Then Euphorbiaceae family include castor, tapioca, etc. The next family is Convolvulaceae, which include your sweet potato. Then Umbelliferae, which include coriander, cumin, carrot, anise, etc. Then next family is a Liliaceae family, which include crop onion and garlic. The next family is Zizimberaceae, which include ginger and your turmeric. Okay. Then next one, the classification on the basis of economic use or agronomic use. Okay. So generally this classification is based on the how we are using this crop as well as their product in our day to day life. So as per this classification, first group is grain crops. So those crops which is used for eating purpose, or the grains generally which is used for a consumption purpose. So those crops are called as a grain crops. Okay. So it may be a cereals or millets or maybe they are the leguminous crops also there. So their larger grain part which is used as a staple food as a cereal. So examples are rice, jawar, wheat, maize, barley and millets. So these are called as a grain crops. Then second group is a pulse or legume. So seeds of leguminous crops, crop plants which is used as a food. So when we split the seed, they will be produce the dal which is a rich source of protein. So examples are green gram, black gram, soyabean, pea, red gram, cowpea, etc. Then third group is oilseed crops. So the crop seeds which are rich in fatty acids and generally used for the purpose of extraction of vegetable oil to meet various requirements. Okay, so such crops are called as oilseed crop. So examples are groundnut, mustard, sunflower, sesame, linseed, etc. Then next group is forage crops. So those crops which is used for feed, which is used for a feed for animals. So generally their vegetative plant part or matter which is used as a fresh, or sometimes we can preserve it, and that will be utilized for a animals as a feed. So those crops are called as forage crops. So crops cultivated and used for hay, silage, those are also known as a forage crop. So examples are fodder sorghum, elephant grass, guinea grass, berseem and other pulses, etc. The next one is fiber crops. So the crops which is going to produce fibers, or they will give us a fiber yield, those are called as a fiber crops. Okay, so fiber may be obtained sometimes from seed. Okay, so cotton, jute, mesta, sunhemp, flax are the examples of the fiber crops. Then next one is root crops. So in those crop, roots are the economical produce that can be consumed as a fresh or after processing. So examples are sweet potato, sugar beet, carrot, turnip, etc. Then tuber crops, the crops whose edible portion is not a root but a short thickened underground stem. So those crops are called as a tuber crop. So examples are potato and yam. The next one is sugar crops. So sugar crops, we are having two important sugar crops, that is sugar cane and sugar beet, which is generally used or which is generally cultivated for a production of sugar. So those crops produce the sugar called as sugar crops. Then starch crops, the crops which is used for production of starch called as starch crops. So examples are tapioca, potato, sweet potato, etc. Then drug, or also called as a medicinal crop. So those crops which is used for a preparation of medicines are called as a drug crops or medicinal crops. Example is tobacco, mint, etc. The next one is spices and condiments or spice crop. So the crops where products are used to flavor the taste or sometime color the fresh preserved food are called as a spices crop. So examples are ginger, garlic, chili, cumin, onion, coriander, cardamom, pepper, turmeric, etc. The next group, we are having a vegetable crop. So those crops which can be their leaf part or fruit part is used for a vegetable purpose are called as a vegetable crops. Example is palak, methi, brinjal, tomato, etc. So next one is green manuring crop. So green manure crops, so those crops are grown and incorporated into soil to increase fertility of soil. So examples are sunham, cowpea, dhencha, etc. The next one is medicinal and aromatic crops. So the medicinal plants include isabgol, opium poppy, senna, etc. And aromatic plants such as lemongrass, citronella grass, Japanese mint, peppermint, etc. etc. Okay, so these are used for a medicinal purpose for as well as for a aromatic purpose. Those crops are called medicinal or aromatic one. Okay. Then next, on the basis of life cycle or ontogeny, your crops are divided into three types. Again, that is annual crop, biennial crops and perennial crops. So annual crop means the crop which complete their life cycle within a season or year. Okay, so they produce seed and die within the season. So the crop which require one season or 1 year to complete its life cycle, those crops are called as annual crops. Okay, so examples are wheat, rice, maize, mustard. The next one is biennial crop. So these crops require 2 consecutive seasons or 2 years to complete their complete life cycle. So in first year or season, the plants have purely or only vegetative growth. Then in second year, they will produce the flower stalk from the crown, and after producing seed, the plant will undergo the death. So those crops are called as a biennial crop, means those crops require 2 seasons or 2 years to complete their life cycle, are called as a biennial crop. So examples are sugar beet, cabbage, radish, carrot, etc. Okay, then third one is perennial crops. So these crops live for 3 or more years. Okay, so they may be seed bearing or non seed bearing plants. They require more than 2 seasons or more than 2 years to complete their life cycle, are called as a perennial crops. So examples are fodder grasses, coconut, as well as fruit trees, etc. Okay. Then next one, classification on the basis of cultural method or their water requirement. The crops are classified into 2 groups, that is rain-fed crops and irrigated crops. So rain-fed crops grow only on a rainwater, such as jawar, bajra, moong, etc. While irrigated crops will be grown with the help of irrigation water. They require a frequent irrigations or more water requirement. Okay, so example is sugarcane, banana, papaya, etc. The next one is on the basis of economic importance. The class are grouped or classified into 4 types, that is cash crop. So those crop grown for earning money, or that we can sell into market and we will earn the cash. So example is sugarcane and cotton. The next one is food crop. So these crops generally grown for raising a food grain production for the population as well as fodder for cattle. So examples are jawar, wheat, rice. The next one is plantation crops, that is coffee, coconut, tea, rubber, etc. And the last one is horticulture crop, which majorly include your fruits and vegetable in this group, that will be either sold in the market or may be consumed as a fresh. Then next, classification on the basis of photosynthesis. Your plants are divided into 3 types, that is C3 plant, C4 plant and CAM plants. So C3 plant means the plants which is having a high photorespiration rate and lower water use efficiency. So those plants as well as their initial product of carbon assimilation or fixation which include 3 carbon chain or 3 carbon compound. Therefore, it is called as a C3 plants. Okay. So, the primary product which is developed after the fixation of CO2 with ribulose 1,5 biphosphate is 3-phosphoglyceric acid here. Okay. So, examples are rice, soyabean, wheat, barley, cotton, etc. Okay. Then second one is C4 plants. So, C4 plants, these are the plants which is having a primary product of carbon fixation is a 4 carbon chain, that is either malic acid or oxaloacetic acid, and the enzyme responsible for carbon fixation is phosphoenol pyruvic acid, phosphoenol pyruvic carboxylase. So, which is having a high affinity for a CO2 and they are capable to do photosynthesis or carbon fixation at lower CO2 concentration. Therefore, photorespiration rate is negligible in C4 plant and their photosynthetic rate is higher than your C3 plant at same amount of stomatal opening. So, examples are sorghum, maize, napier grass, sesamum, etc. Then next one is CAM plant. So, CAM means crassulacean acid metabolism plants. So, these are the plants, they open their stomata at night and large amount of CO2 is fixed as a malic acid which is stored in vacuole during the night time, while during the daytime their stomatas are closed and there will be no possibility for entry of CO2 through the stomata into plant. So, that time whatever malic acid stored in the vacuole, they will be taken out and that is broken down and CO2 is released. So, that CO2 is used for the fixation into your malic acid again. Okay. So, C4 and CAM plants have high water use efficiency compared to your C3 plants. Okay. As well as these CAM plants are highly drought resistant. So, they require less water. Examples are pineapple, agave, sisal, etc. Then next, on the basis of botany, your plants are divided, your crops are divided into two groups, that is gymnospermy and angiospermy. So, gymnospermy means these are the plants which is having a naked seed, or while angiospermic means these are the plant which is going to produce a flower and their seeds are enclosed inside that flowering organs. Okay. So, these angiosperms again divided into two types, that is monocotyledonous plant and dicotyledonous plant. So, again this is another classification on the basis of cotyledon. We are having two types, monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous. Monocotyledons means these plants are having a single cotyledon or having only one cotyledon in the seed. So, examples are all cereals and millets, while second group is dicot or dicotyledons. So, these are the crops having two cotyledon in their seed. So, all legumes and pulses, they are having a two cotyledons. So, these are dicotyledonous in nature. Then next, on the basis of root system, there are two types again, taproot system and another one is adventitious or fiber rooted. So, taproot means these are the plants in which main root goes deep in the soil. So, examples are tur, gram, then grape, cotton. The next group is adventitious or fiber rooted. So, the crops whose roots are fibrous, shallow and spreading into the soil called as adventitious or fiber rooted. So, examples are all cereal crops are having this adventitious root system. Next one, on the basis of photoperiodism, your plants are divided into three types, that is short day plants, long day plants and day neutral plants. Okay, so short day plant means the plants which require less photo period, less than 10 hours for flower initiation. So those plants are called as a short day plant. Okay, so examples are rice, sorghum, green gram, black gram, etc. Then long day plants, so these are the plants which require a long day condition or a long photo period, that is more than 10 hours for flower initiation. So example is wheat and barley. Then day neutral plants means these are the plant on which there is a no influence of photoperiod takes place. So in order to have a flowering, there is a no specific requirement of photoperiod. If they require less than 10 hour or more than 10 hour, that doesn't affect the flowering. So examples are cotton and sunflower. Okay. So we are going to stop here and going to continue our remaining part of this lecture in the next lecture. Thank you.